Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? Just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today. And yeah, man, this one's gonna be another all things Xbox and just all things gaming in general video where I'm just going over some of the latest topics. As you guys know, when it comes to my material, man, there's only certain things that I cover. I don't cover each and every little single thing that pops up. I'm not one of those types that does a lot of small videos that's just talking about every little thing that's in news articles, man, because you guys can read a lot of that stuff for yourself. I mostly talk about a lot of the bigger things me personally I care about, and that's why I always ask you guys, appreciate if you guys could hit me up and put in the comments, man, what do you guys would want to get a video on. I'm always open to that. You guys got to remember, this is an open platform for you guys to make suggestions. So I would appreciate if you guys would make some adjustments, man. Let me know what's up. Let me know what you guys want to hear about. I don't have no problem doing research and digging into whatever you would like to hear about. But, I need those suggestions out there. So, I want you guys to go ahead and hit me up with those suggestions of what you think. I did have one on Black Desert. So if you know who you are. If you think I've forgotten about it, I haven't. I'm gonna be getting on that. I just want to do a more in-depth, hit into that game, man, and research into that game, because that game has a very interesting past in regards to PC. It's currently now on PC, and it has a lot of different facets, man. So I'm gonna dig in that on a more in-depth video, so don't think I've forgotten about that, man. But man, this one's just gonna be another one on Xbox and just gaming in general, just talking about a lot of the different things that are going on. As you guys know, if you guys been on my channel, you guys know I've been paying a little attention to just a lot of the fanboys out there, man, because I think they're really just such a detriment to the gaming communities as a whole, man, because they really just allow for a lot of these corporations to take advantage of gamers in general, because you don't have gamers that should be standing up against anti-consumer practices. Well, fanboys are always gonna stand up for that, and they're gonna try to protect these corporations from doing this to us, and that's the problem. That's one of the main problems, and they don't move the gaming conversation forward in any positive way. All they do is create drama and just want to incite a bunch of, this is why it's called gaming wars, man, because that's all they want to do. But now the problem is it's so destructive, it never builds anything positive. All you do is you're fighting and bickering with people, and a lot of that's some childish, immature stuff that people just don't have time for, man. So yeah, man, I've been digging into a lot of that recently. I'm going to kind of switch gears because a lot of that is just, I think a lot of us who are mature enough and who are real adults understand just the childishness and the immaturity of it, and they don't waste their time with it for the most part. So for me personally, man, I think a lot of people know what it is and they will know what it's about. So I'm gonna be switching more on games because, as you guys know, we're a little bit over a month away from the Beast being released, and we need to be focusing on that because this is something that is unprecedented to happen, and there's a lot of good news in gaming. You wouldn't know it if you're a hater or a fanboy, because they're too busy arguing about stuff to recognize that we're about to have a gaming revolution hit us and change the whole gaming world with the X being released, and it's going to be something that's going to be great for all gamers. Case in point, you got Sony, which I find very interesting that later on this month, right before the X release, they're going to be making some announcements, some interesting things that they announced about the PS4 and the VR, which is really interesting. And I love things like this. Now some guys will take this, and the Xbox community would take this as, here goes Sony. They ain't been doing crap all these months, and now all of a sudden they want to try to pull something out their butt right before the X releases. Now, see, that's not really my take on it. Rather, if that is what they're trying to do or not, that's kind of besides the point. The point is, at least they're doing something, and they're being pushed to do something because of the X, and that's a great thing. Whichever way we get these corporations to be competitive, it's always a good thing, because at the end of the day, gamers win. Right? So the thing is, you got to always take the positive from it and look at it from a positive point of view. The fact is, the X releasing is going to push Sony to be a better Sony, and that's always a good thing, because that's the same thing Sony did when they pushed Microsoft. This is one of the reasons why we're getting the most powerful console ever made, because Sony with the power narrative pushed things so far where Microsoft said, okay, you want power, we're going to give you power and them some. And we gotta owe a portion to that to Sony. Now a good portion of it is fanboys, but hey, you gotta look at the silver linings where you can find them. Okay, so the thing is that this is a great thing. Either way you slice it or dice it, it's good to see Sony, because I got a PS4 and I would like to see some nice games or some features or some enhancements, something. I want to have a reason to be playing it. And I want it to be competitive with my Xbox, because I would like to be giving them equal play. If I could, it would be nice. So that's a great thing for that. There's of course, Cuphead has this release and it's dominating right now. I mean, Cuphead is killing it. I would say it's had critical acclaim, and the verdicts have been in, and it's a great and fantastic game. It's something like no one's never seen before, no one's never played before, and it is very refreshing. Now, if you ask me, now I only know that from the reviews and and such as that. I haven't personally played it. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm spoiled as hell. I told you guys this before. I don't really buy much of anything. I'm on that track that I ain't playing nothing until the X comes out. Now you guys know I tried Destiny 2 more or less just to get a review about it. So I wanted to, if I was going to speak on it, I wanted to make sure I dig into depth, because Destiny's one of those games you got to really play a lot of to really know what the hell's going on. But Cuphead's one of those games where it's very straightforward. And I'm really excited for it. Once I get my hands on it, and I'll be playing it on the X for the first time, and I'm just excited about it. But the good news is that it's doing well. I really personally think they should have made this game $29. But it's great that they only had it for $19, because everybody, their mama's buying it. And it's doing great. Another great game, of course, is Forza 7. It's out, and the critical claims are mostly out. It's still they're still having their reviews, but so far it's doing great, as we already know it would. And it's going to be interesting seeing what the numbers on Forza is going to be, and also the numbers. We already seen some of the numbers on Cuphead. So the good news is that Microsoft's exclusives that are coming out are doing great. And of course, we know PUBG, when it hits, it's going to be it's going to be stupid. So it's looking like, a lot of people are talking about, Microsoft year this year is kind of like a sparse year. But I'll tell you one thing, that it's looking like it's going to be shaping up to be one of the best years when it comes to sales, when it comes to its exclusives, because it's hitting one after another with great exclusives that are looking like they're going to be doing very well when it comes to sales. So that's a great thing, for Microsoft. Now for us, as gamers, we're getting some good quality games that we are going to be playing and enjoying. So that's when it comes good for us. That at least, if anything, yeah, they might be sparse, but at least they're coming out with games that all of us are going to be enjoying and be playing and enjoy to play. So that's the great thing. All three of those titles are not titles where I'm like, I'm going to skip on it. All three of them are titles where, oh no, they're must buys, and I'm going to get them. So that's a great thing. My only caveat is I'm not getting anything until the X comes out. Like I said, I'm spoiled. But all three of those games are must buy. So, and I think that view is shared amongst most Xbox gamers in general, and just gamers in general. I think they're going to be very enticing games that are, type of games that everyone's going to want to pick up. So that's a great thing. So moving on along, it looks like that Sony is, like I was telling you before, I wanted to go ahead and dig into this, that they're doing something with their VR. They're going to be having some things that they're going to be announcing about their VR. And I don't know if this is going to be some games or things of this nature. That's going to be, they desperately need it for the VR, because it looks like they came out with, just recently that talking about it, some of their officials at Sony, and they're saying, that the VR is not doing as well as they would have hoped. And it's good to see that they're finally coming out and saying some truths about this. This is the type of stuff I've been saying, people like me have been saying for months now, that the VR market was not a viable market to be getting into right now. Sony was pulling a Sony, like typical fashion. They take a market and they just come out with a cheaper product, which of course is going to sell better because it's simply just a cheaper product, but its quality is cheap too. If you match the PS4 VR or the VR to the Vive or Oculus, it doesn't. I mean, the PS4 VR can't hold a candle to Vive or Oculus. However, Vive or Oculus are much more expensive. So, of course, for entry level, you're going to have the PSVR. And the thing about that is that it's going to do just what basically all the other VR headsets have always pretty much done, is it's going to appeal to a niche audience of people. You're going to have early adapters, and that's going to be pretty much it. It's not going to really catch on so much. And the reason why is because it's really just too intrusive. People still are not used to really playing hours and hours of gameplay with something like that on their face, and that's always going to be a thing that's going to be a big barrier for people to cross. And, this is the reason why Microsoft are not putting their eggs in that basket. They're putting everything into the X, rightfully so, because that's something that's actually going to be impactful and something that is going to, it can't help but to catch on, right? The VR thing is something that they'll get it right when it's literally like glasses that you just put on your eyes, and it's pretty much wireless. There's really no wires to it. That'll make it much easier for people to use it and have fun with it, where they don't feel like it's so intrusive. And it's that big barrier that blocks them from really playing, or can't really play it for too long. Or it just being one of those things where it's kind of like once the novelty wears off, you'll be moving on. That's pretty much that on that. I think it's good that at least Sony's coming out and just announcing what we already know, that just the VR market is not so much of a viable one, but hopefully they're gonna maybe try to do something for those who do have a VR, for them to maybe get a shot in the arm to get a boost to the VR. So that'll be a great thing. So it looks like there's some other things I want to dig into when it comes to the X. It's really cool that it's gotten the gifting ability been put to it, where you could literally buy a game and now gift it to other people. This is something that a lot of people has been asking for, that Microsoft finally have came through and got this. And I think it's a great thing that it's just it's a small thing to a lot of people. A lot of people are like, shoot, I ain't gifting nobody no games. But you'll be surprised, man, now that you have the option, which, we do got Christmas coming up. It's really cool for a person to have ability to say, hey, even if a person might be in another state or whatever, you can easily gift them a game. Because we know as gamers, man, that's one of the biggest gifts that we'll be given to our friends and family, man, is games. So it's nice that Microsoft would implement something like this right before Christmas, right in the Christmas holidays. Maybe save you a little trouble from trying to buy games physically and, wrap it and try to send it to somebody, through post mail and stuff. Now you don't have to worry about that. You can go ahead and, just go ahead and buy it and gift it right through to them, and it'd be a code that they can get and enjoy it, man. And I think that's a great thing that Microsoft is doing that. We always want to encourage a company that's doing something that's consumer friendly and makes things easier for us as gamers. So I think that's a great thing, man. Whether if you're going to be gifting people games or not, just having the option, I think, is a great thing. So, yeah, man, another thing is, I just wanted to dig into some of the things that are going on when it comes to, we do know we're going to be having some new updates that are going to be hitting us, when it comes to the dashboard, which I'm going to be looking out for. When it comes, it looks like a lot of this stuff is setting up to be right when X releases. So basically, I guess we can say a lot of these things are gonna be for the Xbox X, that they're releasing it right at that time. Another thing about this is that it looks like Mike has finally your borrower has finally came out and said, yeah, man, there's not gonna be really any more too much major tinkering going on. They're going to keep this is what it's going to be, which is a great thing for a lot of folks, man. A lot of guys are like, man, dude, now I like the features that they're doing, but they're doing a little bit too much switching up. Now, for me personally, it's kind of like it takes you some time to get used to it. Once, they update the dashboard and how its functionality works. But one thing I've always found, I've generally liked the updates that they've done, where it makes everything faster and quicker and easier to use. I've enjoyed it. It takes a little time to get used to it once they do it, but I've always found that once I've gotten used to it, I've liked it better than before. So I don't really personally have so much of a complaint with that. However, I would say that I would want them to stick to something and leave it at that. If it's working, why fix something that ain't broken? You know what I'm saying? So it's good to hear that, okay, this is going to be their last iteration for a long while. I'm happy to hear that because, I would want them to kind of like just stick to it. I don't want to have to keep getting used to something over and over and over again. I would just rather it just be, it's already great and easy to use and leave it at that. So, another thing, man, I want to dig into is some other gaming news. Now, you guys already know Red Dead Redemption 2, the official trailer came out, and it is looking amazing, and it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to look on the X, man. I'm really excited. I don't know about you guys, man, but the main protagonist that they're showing so far, I don't really know, man. I'm excited for Red Dead, but I liked the first protagonist better. I don't know why. It's just John Marston. I liked him. Like, it was something about his face. He looked rugged, beat up. You know what I mean? He looked like he was a unique character. He looked like he was in a real lived world of the West, and he was really rugged and hardcore. And I like that look of him, John Marston. I love that look of him. This character, man, he just looks kind of generic, man. I don't know if you guys picked that up on his main character or not, but I was looking at him and I'm like, yeah, he looks a little generic. Like, I wouldn't think he would be the main character. Like, I don't know if you guys picked that up, but that's how I see it. Now, that's not saying anything about Red Dead Redemption 2. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. If it's going to be anything like number one, it's going to be fantastic, and you can see the visuals. I'm really excited for it. But the main protagonist, if that's the actual main protagonist, I don't know if you're going to be switching to different characters in this game or what. I don't know if they're going to do it like a GTA 5. We still don't know a lot of those details. However, so far, if that's going to be the main protagonist, or at least one of them, he's probably not going to be one of my personal favorites because I kind of feel a generic vibe with him. He looks like a generic type of character. He doesn't look like he's a real unique type of character, and that's what I kind of have an issue with so far with that trailer, looking at him. So yeah, I'm gonna moving on in other gaming news, man. You guys know recently the Super NES came out. Now, I usually, I put up stuff on Super NES and you guys don't even watch it. Y'all ain't, I don't know what it is. I guess a lot of my family members, man, y'all just like all into the Xbox and stuff like in PlayStation. What's going on with that? What's going on with that world? You guys don't mess with Nintendo as much. I mean, I don't know, man, because every time I do videos on the Switch, it gets no play. I mean, y'all just like, nah, I ain't trying to hear it. Like, I don't know what's up with y'all. But y'all just don't be trying to hear it, and that's cool. I mean, me personally, like I told you guys before, if it comes to me, I'm gonna do stuff about what I'm interested in. I do things on what I would like to see. If I was looking at YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to do, regardless of how many views it get. I don't really care about that. What I care about is what's interesting to me and what I think is interesting to you guys. That's why I say give me your suggestions. But yeah, I just noticed that Switch doesn't get too much play. Now, of course, the Nintendo fanboys has gotten on me recently about some things I've said about the Switch, but you know me, I keep it real. But that doesn't mean I don't love Nintendo. So of course I got my Super NEX. Sorry guys, I got my stuff. Had mine reserved, man. I was only eight people at the GameStop got it. I was third in line. So that tells you just how critical it was. And when I went and picked it up, there was a line outside the door. And Nintendo was saying they were going to have more available. Yeah, right. Of course, like always, in the typical Nintendo fashion, they were sold out in just minutes. Like always, and now they're saying they're going to be having more come, but we'll see about that. So if you didn't get yours, you still might got a chance, but don't hold your breath, because you know I checked out a couple of places. Walmart, they said they people were lined up outside the door trying to get it. But you might have a little better of a chance, because a lot of the times now when they're going to have more of them, you never know when they're going to have more of them. You got to just keep checking over and over again to see. So it'll be interesting about that. That's pretty much that. I got mine, so I ain't tripping. But yeah, if you guys haven't gotten yours, hopefully you might still have a chance to get one. But like I said, don't hold your breath. So now, yeah, man, moving on to other gaming news, man. It's looking like what I said. I've been checking on the Xbox X. It looks like it's, you know, like I've said, it's been selling well on the standard edition. The thing is like I've told you guys, and people, you know, people got to get what's up with the game, man. Told you guys before, Microsoft sees this is probably going to be one of their last pushes. You guys got to understand, now we're a little over a month away. The next push most likely is going to be the November 7th release. It's not going to be known if we're going to get another push here in America. I think what they did is they put 2 months into one. They can buy, and this is why I've been saying, anybody talking about 250,000, no, you're completely off base. Just in the American market alone, I believe they did at least 1 million, easily, maybe more. Just in the American market alone, that's not including the rest of the world. So, and I think this was intentional upon them, because they knew, well, they're not going to be doing another round into November 7th. So I believe that, you know, you got to remember, they also too stopped the production on the OG Xbox One, and I think, you know, part of that was to make sure they can ramp up production on the Xbox X, because I've been telling guys a long time, I've been saying this for months now, that the Xbox X will become the golden standard. If you think that, you know, if you want to believe that they're just like, oh, it's just kind of like only for the high-end or hardcore gamers, yeah, that might be true in some aspects, and that's fine. But how this thing is going to go over, it's going to go over well with any and every gamer. So, and as Microsoft, more and more as Microsoft realized that, I think they've already were surprised of the demand. They're gonna be more and more pushing it to be the golden standard. It looks like that's already becoming a thing, where they're already seeing where, man, we got to get these things out and have these things available, because I think the last thing they want is people wanting it and can't get their hands on it. So it looks like Microsoft is actually keeping up to their promise that they were going to get as many of the X's out as possible and make sure that they're available, especially for the holidays. So it could possibly be where we have a situation where, well, at least maybe for November, people can get their hands on it. Now, I'm still not sure about those December. Who knows? Because, I mean, I think that's a little later down the road, but we'll see. Hopefully, Microsoft will keep continuing to try to push out as many of them as possible and make sure that they're available. And that'll be a great thing, because the real reality is we want to make sure everyone who wants one could get one. It's the same thing with Nintendo. I wish they would put out enough Super NESs, so everyone who wants one will get one. Simple as that. Like, you know, wouldn't be no problems. You want to get one, have one and play it and enjoy it. I mean, it's kind of sad that people gotta not get one, then gotta pay scalping prices and any of that. That's just ridiculous, man. And no major manufacturer should ever be in a place like that. These companies make billions of dollars. None of them should be in a place where they just simply can't meet the demand meet the supply of a demand. That kind of makes no sense in this day and age of automation or manufacturing, man. You can see how they were manufacturing the Super NESs. They did a teardown and they realized that it was the exact same when it comes to the internals as the NES. There was really no differences. So that tells you just how incredibly easy. All they're doing is using a different shell, and that's telling you how incredibly easily they can make these things. And you guys know how they make these stuff overseas, man. They make them as easy as hell. So you know they can put in enough effort and time and make these things. And so it's great to see that Microsoft leading the way, making sure there's enough supply to meet the demand. And that's a great thing, man. Like I said, again, it's still not going to be known if in December that's going to be enough, but it remains to be seen. So yeah, man, I think that's going to be my video for this time, man. I just wanted to go ahead and hit you guys up with some of the latest and greatest news is going on out there, man. Put you guys up on game, and let you guys know what's going on, man. Hey, so if you guys make sure you like, share, subscribe if you dig your boys' content, if you want to become a part of the Keep It Reals family. And until the next time, this is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.